I couldn't really keep it quiet because we had, we were getting like bacon rolls at meetings and work events. I was still attending like all the industry events and, you know, having cups of coffee and tea in the office and stuff. So I had to explain that I wasn't eating those products anymore.
Welcome to Walking with Vegans to Get Tea, where I, Jordi Casamitjana, talks with another vegan just walking around the UK and then having tea somewhere else. Today I'm in Shrewsbury, in Quarry Park in the West Midlands, and I'm going to be talking to a vet called Dr Alice Brough, and she just happened to be here. Hello Alice.
Hello.
How are you? How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
You know, the deal is that we need to walk, so we
Okay.
just need to start walking.
Let's do it.
So, I already said that you were a vet, but I didn't say that you are known as the vegan pig vet.
That's it.
So we'll talk about the pig vet part of it later on, but let's talk about the vegan part of it first. But before you do the bit, I'll do my bit. I'll
Okay.
tell you my vegan journey, and then you tell me yours.
Okay.
And for those that have been listening to this and seen all the episodes, they will be tired of me saying my vegan journey. But one trick I'm going to tell you now, I always say something new, and today I'm going to be something I haven't said before. So pay attention, don't twin off. So, well, I'm from Catalonia. I grew up there, and in 1993 I moved to the UK, and I was still a meat eater, but I started working in animal protection. And I haven't really met any vegan and when I was in Catalonia. The first vegan I met was when I was working at the monkey sanctuary. It was Kate, and I worked for 5 years there. But because it was the monkey sanctuary, I really didn't feel that the vegan lifestyle was something for the mainstream. I didn't feel that convinced that could be done. But then I left and I went to a Bonfi Foundation, and I found Trisha was also vegan, and I thought, well, I need to change my perspective. I went to an island, and after I was reflecting with 23 days and writing a novel in the process, I became a vegan. So that was 1st of January 2002. So that's my journey. So what's your journey?
Well, I spent my whole life wanting to be a vet, and I come from a sort of farming family background. My grandpa farmed animals as well as crops, and so I went into veterinary medicine with a desire to help animals. I loved animals, right. I loved science. It was sort of the perfect career for me. So I went through all the training, the work experience, all of that. And as a teenager, I did some work experience on a pig farm, and what I saw there really shocked me. It was a sort of intensive pig farm with farrowing crates, mums in cages and things like that. And I was so shocked that I really then wanted to do something about that. So I drove my career into pigs with the idea to improve the welfare standards for pigs in farming. When I graduated, I went into the pig industry, and I worked with every kind of type of farm, size, system, scale, and it was appalling. I ended up doing 4 years, but about halfway through that I decided that I couldn't keep funding it, I couldn't pay for it, couldn't contribute to it. I really didn't want to be eating those animals. I was working in slaughterhouses as well, and so yeah, I kind of.
But you were still eating meat at that point.
Yeah, until about halfway through. I think I stopped eating pigs first, and then I, having worked on all the other types of farm, you know, I did some mixed practice vet work at the start of my career and all the other things, and it all kind of pieced together in this kind of horrifying fashion that left me, really. So
did you move first into being vegetarian and then vegan, or just went straight to vegan?
No, just straight to vegan. Yeah.
And how long ago was that? How long you've been vegan then?
That was, I think that was about 2017, 2018.
Right.
I can't remember there wasn't an exact moment, but I kind of soft launched it.
Right.
So I was still working within the industry for another 2 years.
Well, that is the thing that amazes me, because it's not that you went vegan and just quit.
No.
So you actually carry on.
Yeah.
How that work? Because did you tell people? Did you keep it quiet? How did it work?
Yeah, I couldn't really keep it quiet because we had, we were getting like bacon rolls at meetings and work events. I was still attending like all the industry events and, you know, having cups of coffee and tea in the office and stuff. So I had to explain that wasn't eating those products anymore. But I did it kind of as a soft launch. I did a Veganuary, so I played it off as like a health thing, which in fact it did improve my health massively.
But
so
did you
that
play it off seriously, or which way we went?
How good this is.
Or you just made it up? So there was also health issues that helped.
Yeah, I just made it up. I couldn't really be like, what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah, because they could understand the health thing, but they would not understand some of the works in the industry.
Yeah, because I had a real variation of clients. Some were really interested in veganism and why I was doing it and all of that sort of stuff, and some were really threatened by it, it felt like.
Right.
Should we just do
This
we could go that way up there.
Wow, this is amazing garden.
So
Let me
nice,
stop here, hold on, because I need to show this amazing garden in Shrewsbury. Is Shrewsbury or Shrewsbury? How do you pronounce it?
Posh people say Shrewsbury. The
Oh,
rest of
then
us,
I can't
rest
say
of us say
Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury for me. Wow. But then at one point somebody might have challenged you, say you can't work here because you're vegan and things like that. Some of the farmers must have happened, because obviously for them it's not a common thing to get a vegan vet.
Yeah, there were definitely some that I didn't freely talk about it with. We'll go up this way. Yeah, a real variation. It was not very easy, let's say, and it got more difficult as the years went by.
Right.
I
imagine, and also there would have been an internal conflict, to say the least.
Yeah, it was really, really hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. I mean, it's hideous. The industry is absolutely hideous, and the work was extremely traumatic. But I felt like I couldn't bring myself to leave them, because I had like hundreds of thousands, probably millions of pigs under my care over the 4 years, and I actually cared about them, and I was doing my best within that system, although there was pretty much nothing I could do to alleviate their suffering mostly, but at least I was trying. And I thought at the start of my career maybe there might be options for like improving the standards or kind of making changes, but it's absolutely impossible.
So at one point you said, okay, that didn't work.
Yeah.
I need to quit essentially my job and then become something different. And you become an activist, a vegan activist, really.
So the sequence was naively hoping I could improve things for farmed pigs, but thinking farming was great because I was from a farming background. I was really like pro-British farming. Then seeing the reality, trying really, really hard to make change, realising I couldn't, so I went vegan, continuing to try to make change, realising it was impossible. So I thought, God, I've got to think about something else to do here. So I left and basically just started telling as many people as I could about how awful it is and speaking out.
And then people learn about you. They learn, oh, there is a vegan vet that used to work in the industry, so everybody wanted to know your story, and you had a lot of opportunities. But you also actually end up working in an organization in Viva.
That's it. The first 6 months out of the industry, I went to the safe haven of Viva,
which is a vegan organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't know Viva.
As a campaigner and veterinary consultant, and I was involved in their documentary about Hogwood Pig Farm, which the timing of that was brilliant. So that was the first thing I did as soon as I left, was interview for that. And then kind of went out on my own, and I've done lots of different things since then. Yeah,
because I've seen you everywhere, to be honest. I've seen you in documentaries, giving talks in vegan camp out, giving talks in all sort of places.
Yeah.
Like kind of, it doesn't surprise me, because it's not that many people that fill the niche, because you're kind of a bona fide whistleblower type of person, because you come from the industry and you become one of us.
Yeah,
and that is rare. Yeah, that is rare, because of course vets, they might be vegan vets, but not necessarily coming from the pig industry or the cows industry. They might be from small animals, dogs and cats things.
Yeah, and you tend to find I had a few colleagues that came into the pig industry, stayed for a couple of years, and then went into small animal veterinary work and never spoke about it again.
Right.
and everyone else just tends to stay. Once you're kind of locked in, because it's quite a specialist area, it's very, very different to a lot of other veterinary kind of fields, and you become part of that community. It's like such a small, close-knit, you're part of the farming community, the vets, there's only, 30 to 40 pig-only vets in the UK for the 11 million pigs slaughtered each year, so it's very, very, you're like kind of a, big fish in a small pond as opposed to the other way around.
Right.
So yeah, lots of people just stay for their entire career there.
Are we going straight or
we're going to go straight on? Maybe we'll go to this.
Yeah, the crossing.
Sorry.
Let's go. Let's do it properly. So, and then, of course, you can speak as a vet. So even if you don't work in a veterinary, so as a vet in a farm, you are still a vet.
Yeah, I've been involved in lots and lots of farm investigations since, like a lot of footage has been sent to me. I've never seen anything I didn't see on farms as a vet, so yeah, the problems are so common and widespread, and it's all because of how we're farming them, so you're going to see the same things time and time again.
But what people don't have is experts to go forward and tell the truth from an expert point of view, from a veterinary point of view. Because that's goal for a campaigner, to have a vet that is not going to make it kind of soft, just to be diplomatic, that says it exactly how it is, and that's why they use you all the time. So are we turning right?
We're going left.
We're not far, are we?
No.
So are we going to a place called Kanu Poké? Is that what it's called?
That's it, yeah.
So you chose it, I haven't been there.
So vegan, Hawaiian fusion.
Hawaiian.
Gluten-free, nut-free, it's like allergen-friendly.
Oh, I see. So I probably mispronounced it completely. Is that how it's pronounced?
I think Kanu Poké, like a poke bowl kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
You want to come with this?
And have you been there very often?
Is
that the only place?
No, there's actually loads of vegan places here.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, this is just the most fun one to look at, which you'll see momentarily. And they do fantastic drinks as well for us to have.
Is it in this street, or we have to turn?
It's just
around the corner?
Down here, yeah.
Okay, let's see. But I think, I can see it now.
You can see the sign. You'll see the very bright pink walls in a moment.
I didn't expect to be Hawaiian. But let's see. Hello. So what do you want?
Maybe a chai?
Chai? Yeah, I'll get a chai tea. Haven't had a chai tea for a while. It's hot.
It's nice.
But nice. Hot but nice. Right. I don't know what we were talking about when we entered. Here we had the tea. But let's continue with that. Talk about you having left, and then you become an activist, and then you did all these things that people from animal protection groups say use you as an expert, but you also done documentaries. And that's how really probably most people know you, because you face every vegan documentaries out there. You face that. Probably the first one, you correct me if I'm wrong, or at least the biggest one, is the end of medicine. Is that right? That you were part of that. Well, you were an important part of that.
Yeah, it's probably that's probably the one I've featured in the most, I'd say.
And what was that about? Is it something to do with antibiotics?
Yeah, it's about it's about pandemics, so zoonotic disease and antibiotic resistance, antimicrobial resistance, and yeah, kind of all the features within that in terms of like the issues we create in the way that we treat animals.
And that's beyond pigs. That's all.
Beyond pigs. Yeah, beyond pigs, beyond farming. You know, looking at cosmetics, the wildlife trade, pets, zoos, all that sort of stuff.
Because antibiotics are constantly used in non-human animals.
Well, the zoonotic disease, I'm thinking, with the other bits, but the antibiotics.
Both, of course.
Over 70% of antibiotics worldwide are used in farmed animals.
So it's a health issue, both.
And a lot of those are human relevant medicines, like life-saving medicines for people. And meanwhile, 2 billion people worldwide lack access to those medicines that we're kind of merrily throwing into animals to keep them alive.
And the implication with the title is that if we don't change the animal agricultural system, it will be the end of medicine.
Exactly.
As we know it.
There's already huge amounts of resistance and a lot of people dying already every year from that. And
then you've been to Hogwood, you mentioned it earlier, and that was just pigs, because that was about a pig farm.
That was about a specific.
And what was the last one? Because you and I met about a year ago in the Matlock Vegan Wellbeing Weekend.
Oh yeah.
Matlock is in Derbyshire. It's not north, but in the other side. You are east, they are west. And I was giving a seminar, a workshop on vegan writing, how to do vegan writing. But you were there because there was a showing of a documentary, and the director, Tom Pickering, was there, and you were there, and the documentary was called?
That was called I Could Never Go Vegan.
I Could Never Go Vegan. And that is about what?
That covers all bases of the reasons that people come up with as to why they could never go vegan. We've all heard that kind of phrase. So it's really great. It's so fun, like such a fast-paced film that goes through all the kind of health stuff, environmental, got like amazing athletes doing like incredible performances. And the animal stuff is kind of sandwiched in the middle bit because it's horrible.
But that's the thing about documentaries. Documentaries are different than something you post on the internet, because when you post on the internet, the people that see it, they didn't expect it. And they might react and move along or just be impacted. But the documentaries, you have to make that decision. I want to watch this. So that means your mind is already at least open to the possibility. And then you have time to narrate a story and to hide the bits that you want to hide.
Exactly.
You don't have to cram it all together. And that's a beauty. And if you are a good filmmaker, you will orchestrate in such a way that the kind of message is in the right time.
Yeah.
And of course, it's always room for an expert in that documentary. You need to have the big images, the drama, the pain, the suffering, the drafts, the journey. In this case, was Tom himself, the director who went through experience the journey. But then we need the expert, and who better than
so many in that one. So I'm a very small feature.
No, but that is the part that you don't have that many. There are not that many vegan pig beds. Probably you're the only one known as such, and therefore it's easy for you to be selected. But you haven't finished. I know you're doing more. You don't have to tell me about any of the projects, because obviously I know this. You know, Tom Pickering and I, we have something in common, because he directed a short, we call it mini documentary that Vegan FTA produces, The Secret Life of Pigs.
Of course.
And I co-wrote the script. And without really knowing that was the same guy that was doing this big piece. And then it was in Matlock that I met him for the first time. I told you, I'm the guy that did the script. So it's a small world. But he's one of many filmmakers that are getting the vegan message there. But of course, I remember Earthlings. In Earthlings, when first appeared, there were not that many documentaries at the time. And Earthlings was the one that everybody that met, any vegan that met another vegan, would ask as an introduction, have you watched Earthlings? It became a kind of a greeting card to inquire, not just if you watch it, how long have you seen it, because it was hard to watch. But now, there's so many that Earthlings is just historically relevant, but there's so many.
It's still probably the worst one, isn't it,
to
watch?
Well, I haven't seen it for really, I think came out in 2003, so it's quite old.
When I say the worst one, probably the best one, as in, like it's got
the ones in graphic.
Covers the worst of it. It's actually the one, so my mum decided one New Year's Eve to sit down and watch Earthlings, followed by Land of Hope and Glory, which is then Earthling everyone, because that's the
one after the
UK.
other.
Yeah, because Earthlings, I think people can quite easily be like, oh no, that's happening elsewhere. Like British farming's really great.
Right.
And so she then watched straight away Land of Hope and Glory,
Which is about the UK.
which is about UK.
Because
it's just very like
Dominion-
standard practice farming stuff.
Dominion was another documentary, but that was in Australia.
Australia, exactly,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
also really good.
Yeah, And you needed a British version. I forgot.
Yeah.
Are you in that one? Or no?
I'm not. No, that was before my time. I think that's just Ed talking
Ed
through. It's
Reader.
very like factual.
Right.
But then Joey Carbstrong has done Pignorant, which I'm in.
And what was the effect of your mother watching this?
Oh, she's vegan now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that did it. Although she'd obviously had like years of me, you know, calling her up between farms, like crying, sobbing,
Right.
screaming. Like the trauma of working in the pig industry had like seeped into her, I suspect, but she
Right.
really resisted until suddenly I think she was just like, yeah, we probably need to like face this head on. And yeah, she's been vegan since then. And my granny's also vegan.
It's a whole vegan family.
Yeah.
At least on the female
My
side.
mum's side.
My
Yeah,
side.
exactly.
Well, but this
Yes,
is
that's
amazing.
great.
And do documentaries do this. They are often the final thing
Yeah.
that make people
Yeah.
decide. But of course, they accumulated
You have to
information
be
for
very
years.
ready for
Yeah.
a documentary. Like,
Yeah, and because you're committing yourself, you can't just switch it off.
yeah.
But that means you're halfway there when you
Yeah.
watch it. In the same book, a big book, because it's time invested. You need to decide, I'm going to spend some time as opposed to 10 minutes. That means you're already open-minded. Often that's the only thing it needs. The other process of veganizing people is to open their minds to the point that you don't need to do anything else. The information will work for itself.
Yeah.
But the problem is people don't open their minds. And they get defensive with the word vegan, they get defensive with the idea of animal agriculture being involved in suffering of any sort. And the job of the vegans is to break that cycle and open their minds and then let the information go in.